Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today we are starting with our intermediate programmatic series. We will be talking about how optimizations, brand safety, reporting and such things are done in DV360 and other programmatic DSPs. We are starting with our first video, which is and viewability, how to protect your brand in programmatic ecosystem with a deep focus majorly on DV360. And thank you so much for writing me on comments on my LinkedIn as well. You reached out to me, it means a lot to me. I have started this intermediate series for people who are applying for interviews right away. This particular video will help you understand how brand safety works and how you can control a lot of money which gets wasted on impressions that no advertiser wants. So you will be learning today what brand safety fundamentals are, viewability standards or MRC, IAS, DoubleVerify and Moat, such third party brand safety services. I'll talk about them. We'll talk about DV360 controls and settings. We'll talk about verification tag setup and reporting and optimization. It's gonna be a bit long video, but a very important one. Initially, when I used to give interviews, I also faced a lot of rejections because I was not aware of how brand safety and viewability actually works in DV360. And trust me, once I got to know it, it was a gold standard for me because it was a game changer. I not only improved the performance and pacing of my campaigns, but also met the goals as per advertisers' needs. So this is a very important video. This is the first video of intermediate series. So watch it till the end, and if you have any questions, you can rewind the video and play it again. But this is an important video. I would suggest you to not miss it for anything. Let's get into it. So what we will cover today, you will be learning roadmap for this episode, which would be brand safety basics, what it is, why brand got burnt, and viewability standards like MRC definition, benchmarks and metrics, what verification partners are like IAS, DoubleVerify, Moat, who does what. We'll talk about viewability in DV360. We'll talk about DV360 controls like content labels, sensitive categories, and then at the end, we will talk about reporting and optimization like pulling insights, pulling the reports, actioning on the data. Let's start with the first thing, which is the important thing for today. What is brand safety? So, as the name suggests, brand safety means ensuring your ads do not appear next to content that could harm your brand's reputation, values, or public perception. So, you can think of it as a shield. You want your ad next to a great content, not controversy. So, what is safe? Premium news sites, sports highlights, cooking videos, financial content. This is considered generally safe content where you can show your ads. What is risky? Unverified blogs, opinion pieces, sensational headlines, or uncurated UGC. What UGC is, it would be coming in upcoming slides. So do not worry if you do not understand any term. I have tried to cover everything that a basic layman can also understand, right? So if any term comes up which you do not understand, you can comment it down below, but ensure to watch the video till the end because mostly I have covered everything. And what is unsafe content? Unsafe content means content which contains hate speech, violent content, adult sites, fake news or misinformation. So, avoiding such content is what brand safety is meant for. What is the cost of getting it wrong? If brand safety wasn't an optional, then how come estimated $27 billion were annual loss to a brand safety incidents in digital advertising? This is the data for 2025. As per 2025 data, advertisers lost $27 billion to brand safety incidents in digital advertising. So the real consequences for brands are stock prices drops after ad controversy goes viral. If any ad controversy comes up, in recent times we saw some ad controversies, like I won't name them, but you can remember it, right? If you remember them, please comment down below, in which we saw that certain advertisers were advertising on a war article. Now, because of that, their brand reputation went down. We do not want that, right? That's why brand safety is important. So, negative press coverage and media backlash can be there. Social media pylons and consumer boycotts can be there. We do not want all that. And partnership deals are withdrawn by other brands. If other brands get to know that you do not have certain brand safety measures set up and you are being shown on some controversial data, they take away the brand deals that you already have. Campaigns are paused mid-flight, which means like your budget is entirely wasted. Whatever you spent on the impressions is entirely wasted. A real world example is in 2017, the YouTube Adpocalypse scandal saw major brands like AT&T, Verizon, PepsiCo pull millions in ad spent overnight after their ads were found running against extremist content. This triggered the industry's biggest brand safety overhaul and directly led to the tools we use in DV360. So this thing also happened where brands like AT&T, Verizon and PepsiCo pulled up their money because their ad was being shown in extremist content. So brands generally try to avoid such content because they want the measures to be in place. First of all, before even setting up a campaign, they already give you brand safety measures in their media plans, that we want to show our ads on content which does not contain certain categories. So this is very important. Brand safety is a major issue for most of the advertisers. Let's talk about brand safety versus brand suitability. These are two terms the industry often confuses. Now, what is brand safety? It's industry-wide hard limits, universal never run here rules. It is universally. Brand safety is, like the name suggests, is safety measures. It's universal for never run here, never run on this content. It includes content like hate speech, violence, and adult content. Generally, advertisers avoid these categories. Illegal activity or terrorism, we want to avoid showing our ads there. Same rules apply to all brands, and it's a non negotiable floor level setting. For example, a luxury brand and a fast food brand both block terror related content, right? Because even a luxury brand or a fast food brand both do not want to show their ad on a terror based article or a content, right? Which is spreading some sort of hate speech or terror. Let's talk about brand suitability. It is brand specific preferences, customized rules per brand, because certain brands have certain rules. It does not just mean that you are not showing your ad on hate speech, violence and adult content. That is non-negotiable. After that, each brand has its own set of rules, like you do not want to show your ads on your competitors website. Such rules also apply. So customized rules per brand, tone, sentiment and topic fit, right? It should be topic fit. There are multiple brands I know of which do not want to show their ad on finance website or a stock related website because maybe their brand topic or suitability does not suit that. So it goes with customized rules as per brand's own needs. A children's brands avoid alcohol. Of course, there are brands like if you are a children's garment children's garment advertiser, you want to avoid articles which are talking about alcohol or videos which are discussing about certain alcohol content. A beer brands want to avoid wellness content. Of course, if you're watching a doctor's recommendation on YouTube, beer brand would not like to show the ad on such content. So that's what brand suitability is. Your brand should be suited to the content where you're showing your ad. It goes beyond safety, it's about the market fit. For example, a pharma brand may also block competitor health articles, right? You are a pharma brand, you do not want to show your ad on your competitors' websites which are talking about their own product. Now let's talk about viewability. What is viewability? An ad impression is viewable only if it had the opportunity to actually be seen by a real human user, not just loaded in a browser tab. So, how viewable your advertisement is, that's what matters. You want your ad to be actually seen by the users, and that's what viewability means. Now, MRC or Media Rating Council has given some viewability standards. Let's see what these standards are. And this is important because I remember the first interview that I gave for Google. They asked me these standards, and at that point of time, I was not aware of them. However, I still cleared the interview, but this is something which gets asked often. So, you should be aware of MRC standards. And the fun fact is, about 56% of display ads are never actually seen by a user. Viewability tracking was built to fix exactly that, so that ads actually get seen by the users. So for display, 50% of pixels, if visible for one continuous second, is considered as a viewable impression. In video ads, if 50% of pixels are viewable for 2 continuous seconds, then it's considered a viewable impression, that the user has actually seen the ad. And in a large display, which is more than or equal to 242500 pixel, and in large display, if 30% of pixels are visible for 1 continuous second, then it's considered a viewable impression. Next topic, I'm going pretty fast today about very different topics because they all come under brand safety and viewability measures. Now each of these topic is very important, so I can understand if you are not able to grasp all the information altogether, but if you watch this video twice or thrice and you do your own research alongside, you'll get to know what I am talking about. These are very important topics. Verification partner, so there are some third party verification partners like IAS, DoubleVerify and Moat, which many advertisers opt for their brand safety. The first one and the most used one, Integral Ad Science or IAS, used for brand safety, fraud detection, contextual targeting, and for viewability measures. So, what it does is pre-bid and post-bid safety segments are introduced here. Total visibility score is given. It detects invalid traffic. Context control is done in using IAS, like it avoids certain topics or targets certain topics. It is directly integrated with DV360. So native integration via brand safety targeting is done. In upcoming slides, I'll tell you how exactly that integration is done. The second most used third party tool is DoubleVerify or DV, used for brand safety, viewability, attention, and CTV. It is authentic brand suitability or ABS. It is for authentic viewability metrics, and connected TV or CTV verification is also done using DoubleVerify. DV authentic attention product. Now this third party verification tag in ad serving. Okay, let's start with DoubleVerify now. DoubleVerify is used for brand safety, viewability, attention, and CTV. So how it works and what its major components are. It's used for authentic brand suitability. We just talk about what brand suitability and brand safety are. This is for meant for brand suitability majorly. Authentic viewability metrics are provided using DoubleVerify. You can see the viewability metrics which we just talked about using DoubleVerify. Shibit's AI powered optimizations are given. Connected TV verification is done using DoubleVerify because many advertisers these days opt for CTV ads. Very important to opt for DoubleVerify brand safety measures. And DV authentic attention product like Double verify authentic attention product. A third party verification tag is used in ad serving for double verify. The third important tool is Oracle, or known as Oracle Moat, used for attention, viewability, and analytics. The major use for Oracle is attention analytics focus, human and viewability verification, hover interaction signals like which end users hovered over my ad and how he behaved with my ad. So all those analytics are generated using this Oracle tool. Video completion and audibility. One can measure how viewable my video was. If it's a video ad, you can see video completion rate and how audible, like what was the audio level that the end user was listening to my ad or just viewing my ad on mute. So such detailed metrics can be measured if you opt in for Oracle Mode. Primarily measurement focused, so it's basically used to measure the results or analytics. So verification pixel is required, tag based integration is done with DV360. What are brand safety controls in DV360? Where to find and set them? Okay, there are three levels where you can set the brand safety measures. The first one, of course, is advertiser level. It's a global default for all campaigns. Since all campaigns live under advertiser, if you apply any brand safety setting over advertiser, then it's automatically applied to line item and campaign level. If you do not understand what these levels are, I have made a video in Programmatic Basic Series. It's second or third video in which we are talking about what the levels of DV360 management are, what is advertiser level, campaign level, and line item level. You can watch that video, I'll pin it above. So at advertiser level, you can set digital content labels like DLG, DLPG, DLT, DLMA. I'll discuss each of these labels in upcoming slides, so do not worry about that. What sensitive category blocks are? You can block sensitive categories at advertiser level itself so that they do not come across in campaign or line item level. And then brand verification partner setup with IAS or double verify is done at advertiser level. How you can do that? You need to go to advertiser, then you need to go to resources and brand safety. Campaign level. So we can set frequency caps, we can set targeting adjustments, and then we can do brand safety alignment per campaign goal. Maybe at advertiser level we set a major chunk over there, but within our campaigns maybe there are different products. So maybe a big company which is also making pharmaceutical products alongside some breakfast products. So in breakfast product they do not mind showing their ad to their competitors pharma website. So such, this is just an example. So such things can be done at campaign level so that we do a brand safety alignment per campaign goal. How do we do that? You need to go to campaign, then you need to go to settings and brand safety. The most granular per flight control is done at line item level, where inventory source are selected, let's say open auction or private marketplace. Viewability targeting is done, what active view percentage we want to target, and we can bid on viewable impressions only. Very important point, because majorly we, like many advertisers, waste their money on impressions which are not even viewable to the end user. So we can do a bidding on viewable impressions which were only viewable. Let's say advertiser has set a limit of 70% or above. So if their ad is shown, I'll give you an example. Let's say slide number 8 is a ad. Okay, so now it's 70% viewable. Now only an advertiser will pay. If it was, now look at slide 8, it is just 25% visible. The advertisers won't even pay if it's just this much visible, right? Next up would be content labels and sensitive categories in DV360. The two core levers for brand safety. What are content labels? We just discussed about them, right? So I'll give you a definition of each content label. DLG, it is general audience. You might have seen this in movies as well. When a movie comes up, there is a certification which appears after the production house, which shows you if the movie is PG, it's an adult movie, or it's a general audience movie. In the same way, the content is categorized in these categories so that advertisers are aware where they are showing their ads. So DLG is general audience, it is considered safest, it's family friendly. Think of it like YouTube Kids. What is DLPG? It requires parental guidance. Kids with parental supervision, it has mild themes. DLT is meant for teens and above. It has some mature themes. Most standard placement. Many advertisers use DLT generally. DLMA means mature audience, meant for adult content, strong language, or suggestive themes. And DL question mark means which, like the content which has not been labeled yet. So unknown content, block for brands is sensitive campaigns. Now the block list or the sensitive categories majorly include tragedy and conflict, profanity and crude humor, death, injury and military, alcohol, astrology and occult. Generally, advertisers do not want to advertise their ads on content which includes such topics like tragedy, conflict, sexually suggestive, drugs, tobacco, gambling, religious content. So these are the sensitive categories. We can put them in a block list at advertiser level itself so that our ads are not shown here. A pro tip would be for a conservative brand, block DLMA or mature themes plus DL question mark, which is not labeled yet, content labels, and activate 5 to 8 sensitive categories. For performance campaign, you can be more lenient, test and review brand safety reports weekly. It means that we should be doing weekly performance reports to see our brand safety measures have not gone too restrictive, because it might reduce down our pacing as the number of impressions can go down because we are restricting a lot of content, right? But like most of the times advertisers want to block down the sensitive categories, so work as per your own media plan. Let's talk about viewability targeting in DV360 or active view. So active view is Google's viewability measurement technology built into DV360, a very important innovation in DV360 when an advertiser only pays for views which are actually viewable. So target by viewability percentage. We can set a minimum viewability threshold at line item level. DV360 only bids on impressions where historical viewability meets your target. For example, 70% or above. The example which I just showed you, that how viewable your ad is, then only you need to pay for that impression. So it's a very historical and major component of avoiding ad spend. You do not want to waste your money, right? So if your ad is 70% or more viewable, then only pay for an impression. No point of paying an impression for just 20% of ad which just shows the top label and maybe the name of brand is also not visible over there. So we next is we can optimize bids towards viewability. We can use bid strategy, maximize viewable impressions, or set a custom CPM goal. DV360 AI automatically favors high viewability inventory. So if you optimize towards viewability, there is a bid strategy in which using which like maximize viewable impressions. So majorly if you are running a brand awareness campaign, you can opt in for this strategy. So what DV360 AI does is it automatically optimizes using this particular strategy and favors only higher viewable impression people, like people who will actually see the ad. You can do measure and report viewability. You can pull down the reports for active view metrics in DV360. How like what percentage of viewable impressions, average viewable time, active view of the CPM or viewable CPM. So we can do all that using the reports. How to do all that? So if you want to do targeting, go to line item level, then click on edit, add targeting and viewability. If you want to do the maximize viewable impression bidding, go to line item level, bid strategy, optimize for viewable impressions. And if you want to pull down the reports to see the active view, reports standard add active view columns. Industry benchmark aim for more than or equal to 70% viewable impression rate for display, more than or equal to 85% for video, and for programmatic average spend is around 55 to 60% viewability. You need to beat it. How do we set up third party verification in DV360 like IAS, DoubleVerify or Oracle? So you need to link your verification account, go to advertiser, resources and brand safety. Connect your IAS or DoubleVerify account via platform link. First, you will open an account in IAS or DoubleVerify and then you'll link your account. Apply pre-bid segments. Select safety and viewability segments from IAS or DoubleVerify. DV360 will avoid bidding on unsafe inventory before the auction. Add post-bid measurement tags. Append the ISDV monitoring pixel to your creative tag. In your creative tag itself, you can add these tags. This verifies where the ad actually served after the auction happens. So the tagging is of course important. We are suggesting that IAS or DV monitoring pixel should be added to your creative tag itself. So wherever your creative goes, wherever your creative is being seen, you can pull the reports for all those metrics. Review in dashboard. Log into ISDV dashboard to see brand safety incidents, viewability scores and invalid traffic report. Important topic. And pre-bid segment reduce waste before the impression is bought. Post-bid measurement tells you what actually happened. We need both. We need pre-bid brand safety measures and we need post-bid measurement of these reports to see, even after putting up so many measures of brand safety, where exactly we missed our chance. Because programmatic is a constant learning campaigns, and like we are always learning new things, we are always showing our ads to new people, new things are happening in news every day, right? So we need to pull down these reports every week to see where exactly our ad is being shown. Reporting on brand safety and viewability in DV360. This is just the major columns which can be used. You can take a screenshot of this particular page where we are showing brand safety report columns like impressions which are unsafe. These are all columns. You can directly select them in reports and put them, and then you will get data for how many unsafe impressions your ad was shown to. Okay, what was the active view percentage, unsafe percentage, that is percentage of served impressions on blocked categories. Even after blocking them, what was the percentage of active view there, what was the IVT rate or invalid traffic rate, what was how many brand safety violations happened. You can count of brand safety breaches which were logged. Reports gives us post measurement analytics and reports so that we can be more restrictive towards them. And what was the block rate, percentage of impression blocked pre-bid, like before even bidding how many impressions got blocked because we set certain brand safety measures. Now come to the viewability report columns. What columns can we use to pull down these viewability reports? The very important one is percent viewable impression. What is the viewable impression percentage that we are seeing? So core viewability rate, we should always aim for 70% or above. What was the active view or cost per 1000 impressions? VCPM means viewable cost per 1000 impressions. How many impressions were viewable out of them? So average viewable time, what was the time for which our ad was viewable? How many seconds were there? And measurable impressions, impression where viewability could be tracked. And what was the measurable percentage, coverage of your viewability measurement. So the path to do all these reports is reports, standard report, dimensions, advertiser or campaign or creative, whichever level you are selecting the report at. And the metrics you need to add are add active view and brand safety columns, and then schedule it for weekly delivery. As I already said, these reporting should be done on weekly basis rather than monthly, because things keep on changing, new controversies keep on happening in news, so we need to be aware of all that. Best practices: set advertiser level default first of all, set everything at advertiser level, which is like basic for your brand itself. Okay, don't rely on campaign level alone. Advertiser defaults are your safety net for any campaign that launches without specific settings. Always use pre-bid and post-bid together. Pre-bid prevents the buy, post-bid verifies it. Relying on only one gives you set viewability targets by format. 70% and above for display, 85% and above for video. Don't apply one targeting across all formats because you will either over restrict or under protect your campaign. Then balance safety versus scale. We do not want to lower down our scale, but we equally want to keep the brand safety in place. So too restrictive means you miss inventory and CPM spike. And if you run a brand safety health check monthly, it tight block scale reach. You need to do that weekly basis. Review brand safety reports weekly, just discussed. And use PMPs for safest inventory. Private marketplace deals with premium publishers is gold standard for brand safety because you're already showing your ad on premium publishers. So these were the key takeaways from today's video that we just discussed in entire video. Let's give you a recap of what all we discussed. So the number one is brand safety is about avoiding harmful content. Brand suitability goes even further. It's about content that fits your brand. We discussed about brand safety versus brand suitability, an important topic to understand with a thin line in between. What is viewability does not mean impression served. Viewability means how viewable your ad was. So MRC standard define what counts. 50% pixel visible for 1 second for display and for 2 seconds for video. Minimum 50% of your ad should be actually visible to the user for one to be considered as an impression. So set your knowing these MRC standards. IAS and DoubleVerify are your verification partners. Use both pre-bid segments and post-bid measurement tags in DV360. DV360 gives you three levels of control: advertiser, campaign, and line item level. Set strong advertiser level controls because they are default setting for campaign and line item as well. Now, active view in DV360 lets you target by viewability percentage, bid towards viewable impression, and report on viewable cost per 1000 impressions. Review brand safety and viewability reports weekly. Incidents spike around news events. Don't check on monthly basis, do it on weekly basis. So now you know how to protect your brand in DV360. It was a pretty long video about brand safety and viewability measures. I haven't seen any video on YouTube yet, or I would say any free video on YouTube yet, which discusses about brand safety and viewability. If you like my video, please do not hesitate to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notification of my channel because the next video I'm gonna make would be on audience strategy and data in DV360. We will talk about the first party audiences, CRM, onboarding, lookalikes, and remarketing all inside DV360. It's gonna be a really enjoyable video. You'll enjoy it a lot if you like digital marketing. This is Programmatic Intermediate Series. This was episode 1 of 10. Thank you so much for watching it till the end. If you want to connect with me, you can reach out to me via comments or on my LinkedIn. And have a great day ahead. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye.